Hey guys, welcome to chapter 11, lesson 13. Again, today is convert metric units of capacity. Yesterday was mass, today is capacity. All right, so this is going to be pages 877. It is the last lesson before the chapter review, and then your test. So 877 to 882. Make sure your name's on it, and of course, the staple right here. All right. So, as we say every day, the essential question: how can I use measurement conversions to solve real world problems? All right. So, that's what we're going to be focusing on. In the metric system, the common units of capacity are liter and milliliter. That's basically how much fluid is inside of a container. Okay. Like mass was what's inside of a solid object. Now you have the capacity is how many, like how much liquid is in a container. So you have a dripping faucet wastes about 90 liters of water every week. How many milliliters of water is this? So you're going to convert 90 liters to milliliters. And this, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time explaining a lot of this because it's about the same as yesterday because you're really just dealing with, as you can see down here, 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. All right. And 1 milliliter is about the amount of water that you can put in a little dropper right there. And then a liter is about what you would put inside of a medium sized sports drink or this container that you guys see me drinking out of the soda stream right here. Um, right here, it'll say, 0.89 quarts, which is, close to a liter of water. So obviously, this is the bigger and the milliliters is the smaller when you see that today. Okay. So you're going to be converting and you're just going to be using 1,000 basically. So we're converting 90 liters to milliliters. Well, guess what? We said liters is bigger, smaller. Remember, we multiply. So we're going to multiply 90 by 1,000 as they've done right here. And of course, you just take your nines and you multiply it, you get nine, and you have one, two, three, four zeros, one, two, three, four. So you get 90,000 milliliters. The dripping faucet wastes 90,000 milliliters of water. Okay. And that's like saying that, it's 90,000 drops of water or whatever, like the milliliter there says. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn to the next page, the backside. A container of orange juice holds 580 milliliters. How many liters is that? Okay. So we're going to go backwards. And like it says here, you can basically move the decimal point. So we really don't have to do any kind of like big time division because we're just moving decimal points. All right. So let me just clear that up a little bit. So since 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters, we're dividing 580 by 1,000. Okay, so 580 divided by 1,000 equals. It says move the decimal point 3 places. Why do we move it 3 places? Well, there's 3 zeros there. So we're moving it to the left. So the decimal would normally start right there. This would be where our decimal would be, right there. And we're going to move it to the left 3 spaces because there's 3 zeros. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So our answer is going to be decimal 580. So 580 milliliters is actually point 0.5. You can drop that zero off there. You can say it's 0.58. So a container holds 58 hundredths liter of orange juice. All you're doing is moving the decimal to the left or you're multiplying it by 1,000. Pretty easy today. So again, let's look at the complete here. 6 liters equals, well, how many milliliters is that? Well, big, small. We're multiplying by 1,000. So like they have right here, 6 times 1,000 is 6,000. So 6 liters equals 6,000 milliliters. Easy as that. Same thing with this. You can look at it and say bigger, smaller. Well, that's 4 times 1,000, which gives you 4,000. So 4 liters equals 4,000 milliliters. Now we're going backwards. 7,000 milliliters is small. This is big. So this is where we divide by 1,000. Okay, we divide by 1,000, which they've done right here. Remember, when we divide, we can start crossing the zeros out until we run out of zeros on both sides. So what's 7 divided by 1? 7. So 7,000 milliliters equals 7 liters. See why to me using metric systems a lot easier than than using the standard way of doing math. All right, so 42 milliliters is how many liters? Again, smaller, bigger, we divide. Okay, we divide. So we're dividing 42 by 1,000. Again, there's one, two, three zeros. So we're going to start here and go left. One, two, three. So decimal is going to go right there. So you put a zero in that place. So you're going to say decimal 042 or 42 thousandths. So 42 milliliters equals 0.042 liters. Okay. Which unit would you use to measure the capacity of a glass of milk? A milliliter or a liter? A glass. We're thinking of a glass. Well, this thing filled up to the top is a liter, and I don't believe you're going to have a glass that's that big, right? So you're probably going to want to use milliliters to measure your glass of milk because a glass is a lot smaller. Okay, a liter's a lot bigger. All right, liters, bigger, smaller. Okay, we'll do a few of these. I'm gonna leave the rest of them up to you. Told you this was a very short lesson today. 70. So bigger. We're multiplying. So 70 times 1,000. What's 7 times 1? And then there's four zeros. Two, three, four. So 70,000 milliliters. Smaller to bigger, we're going to divide. So we're taking 10 divided by 1,000. How many zeros are there right here? There are three. So we're going to start here and we're going to jump one, two, three. They put a zero in that place. The decimal goes there. So we're having decimal one or 010. So you have tens, hundreds, you have thousands. So that's 10 thousandths. Liters, big, small. So you're going to go multiply. So we have 1.2 times 1,000. Again, there's three zeros. And that's when we're multiplying. Remember, this is where we go to the right. Dividing, we go to the left. Multiplying, we go to the right. So three, one, two, three. You put zeros in the place right here. So you have basically 1,200 milliliters. Smaller, bigger. We're going to divide by 1,000. How many zeros are there? Three. So you start here. One, two. So the decimal is going to go right there, and you get 3.5. You're going to do these right here as part of your homework. So I'll be checking these as part of your homework because as you can see, they give you six problems and then that's it. So this is going to give you the 10th problem right there. Down here again, I would always pick my opinion. I'd always pick the liters, so you can just multiply by 1,000. So if you multiplied 2 times 1,000, you get 2,000, which obviously is bigger than that one, right? Pick the liters right here, multiply it by 1,000. Again, you multiply, you move the decimal that way to the right, and there's three zeros in 1,000. So we go one, two, three. So you have 390. So they're equal. 82 liters. That should be pretty easy for you. 82 times 1,000 is 82,000. Well, that's way more than that right there, right? Milliliters, yeah. Again, times 1,000. We're just gonna move this one, two, three. So this gives us 8,000. So obviously that's gonna be way more there. Um, this one right here, we have liters again, times it. So we're gonna go this way by three. One, two, three. 340. So 430 is bigger than 340. And then the last one, liters. Again, liters. We're just multiply it by 1,000, guys. So all we have to do is move this one, two, three. We get 87 milliliters. They are equal. Okay, they are equal. Backside, a nail shop purchases nail polish for 13 milliliter bottles. Find the capacity in liters of 1,000 bottles. Okay, it says in liters. So we have 13 milliliter bottles. So 13 times 1,000 is going to equal 13,000 milliliters. Is that what it's asking? No, it says in liters, right? So we need to go to liters. Well, this is small, this is big. So that means we divide by 1,000. We divide by 1,000. So we cross our zeros out. What's 13 divided by 1? 13 liters. See how easy it is to do that, to use the metric system? Pauline measures the water in a container to be 2,732 milliliters. Justin measures the water in the same container to be 3 liters. Circle the greater measurement. Well, again, to be 3 liters, that has to be 3,000 milliliters, right? So that's not 3,000. So this is the greater measurement because that is actually equal to 3,000 milliliters. To prepare for his camping trip, Emmanuel filled his canteen with water. Is 15,000 milliliters or 1,500 milliliters a more reasonable estimate for the amount of water in the canteen? So think about a canteen. Okay. If we convert this milliliters here to liters, so if we have 15,000 milliliters and we want to figure out what the liters is, well, we divide this by 1,000, right? Because this is the smaller and this is the bigger. And we're going to get cross these out. We're going to get 15 liters. 15 liters. Think about that. This is 1 liter, 15 of these. Do you think carrying around a canteen of 15 liters is going to be more reasonable, or you think 1,500? Probably that one right there, right? Because 1,500 milliliters is actually 1.5 liters. And that's a little bit more reasonable to carry around one and a half of these on a camping trip as opposed to carrying around 15-liter bottles of that, right? All right, name three items that have a capacity greater than 10 liters. So something that has and this is going to be one of your problems that you're going to do for homework also. I'm going to put HW here. I want you to look it up on the internet or you can just guess yourself. But name three items that have a capacity greater than 10 liters. Remember, this is 1 liter, so 10 of these. What is something that has a capacity that's greater than 10 liters? Greater than. Okay. And then down here, why is it important to be able to convert metric units of capacity? Why is that? Well, it's important because to me, using the metric system, knowing if you have milliliters or liters, to me, tells you how big an item is. I mean, sometimes we think of ounces, pints, cups. A lot of times we don't understand. We can't compare it if we don't know the conversions. But with the metric system, I mean, if you know that a milliliter is really small and a liter is really big, that's a pretty easy question to answer because you go, well, a liter is bigger. So to me, it helps with that. So again, you have this for your homework. You have these four problems for your homework. So that's 5 questions. And then you have the homework itself. Okay. And again, you're going to want to look and see, well, liter is bigger, smaller. You want to go through there and do all those. Like this one's a multiply. This one's smaller to bigger. You're going to divide. So you're going to want to do that again. Bigger to smaller, you're going to multiply. Smaller to a bigger, you're going to divide. Okay. So I'd write that on there to keep track of that. And then on the back side, again, use this chart right here for that problem. And looks like this problem here. Okay. Um, that's a fairly standard problem that we normally have. Use the front page to answer that. And of course, that one right there. All right. So if you have any questions, again, this video is only 14 minutes long, but make sure when you turn it in, you turn everything in, you staple it right here, and you have your name on the top of it. And this page is on top. Some of you still have an issue with that. If you got any questions, feel free to please ask me. I'll always help you if you ask me. If you're sitting there like a wart on a pickle, I don't know that you need help. So you need to ask me. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So be brave and ask. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Later.